All right. It's lights out and aviators on. Welcome to Miami, baby. Or as Will Smith has said it, bienvenido a Miami. The land of fast cars, louder shirts, and even louder celebrities. We're talking yachts parked on fake water, crocodile humidity, and a Grand Prix that's got more flair than a 1980s action montage. Only 3 years in, and Miami's already the F1 equivalent of spring break meets Wall Street. And this year, the drama is peak telenovela. We got team principals side-eyeing each other across the hospitality, driver transfers speaking more gossip than a Paddock group chat, and don't even get us started with the tire supplier beef. Michelin versus Pirelli is starting to look like a street fight in Wynwood. Leclerc is still trying to shake off that curse under the palm trees. Sainz is driving like every lap is a contract negotiation, and somehow Logan Sargent is still out here trying to prove Florida man can drive an F1 car at home. Meanwhile, Verstappen's busy defending more than just his title, and the new rookie on the block, let's just say they've already made enemies and memes. The track, a tight, twisty, overheated snake pit wrapping around Hard Rock Stadium like a sunburned boa. The fans, half racing diehards, and the other half influencers trying to figure out what a chicane is. Well, today we have Amy, Meg, me, Mel, and Chelsea behind the scenes. So cue the synthwave, order cafecito, and let's drive into the most neon-soaked, drama-filled race on the calendar. This is Miami, baby. Let's ride.
All right, y'all. So I'm back at it again with, yep, you friggin' guessed it. We have more track changes / track updates. I feel like it's every single race, or at least it's every episode I'm on where I have to do circuit updates. This list is substantially shorter than most. They have repositioned the white line and added a blue line at turn 6, added manholes at turns 3, 6, and between turn 8 and 9, and realigned the wall on turn 16 on the right-hand side.
You know, the F1 gods just want to give you all the track updates, Amy, for being honest. And I'm going to be honest with everyone,
It's
too.
just my thing.
Exactly. I love hearing you, mention this, and I'm just nodding away, yeah, I totally know where these changes are, and I can tell a difference. No big deal.
Babe, I can't even tell a difference. But I'm like, we have to mention it because sometimes they really have a laundry list and you just have to see what the hell they've changed. If anybody wants to know where I find this information, there is both on Threads and Twitter an F1 bot account that goes through all the FIA stuff. It is my saving grace. It's the best way to find out all the stuff without having to dig. So if you want to know what goes on and how people are in the loop, that's probably how they're finding out stuff.
I literally could not tell the difference. I'm gonna sound like such a nerd, but I've raced on F1 24 the game last night because I was bored. And I don't know, in my mind I was like, geez, maybe I'll be Lando and I'll win this race and he'll win today. Don't ask me why I thought that. It's just, it's stupid, I know. But after looking at the track updates, I literally could not tell it where I could not tell the difference. After watching quali sprint practice and then racing, I was like, yeah, beats me.
Never will. But let's go into some pre-race fun into the weekend. So of course we always have to talk about the special liveries and the race suits that we saw coming in. Ferrari, to say the least, brought back their blue and white livery and race suits. I'm a fan of the race suits. I really liked it. I like the blue. I like the white. I like the merch that they came out with it and everything like that. The car, please just commit to the full blue. That thing was so ugly.
So ugly, other teams are making fun of it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Facts.
It's just, that's all I will say. I hated it so much.
The livery is giving Colgate. I'm sorry, but if you've seen the meme, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is giving Colgate toothpaste. I do have to say I respect the move with the race suits as a way to avoid wearing red hats in the US, which if the rumors of that's the reason why they wore those blue and white race suits with the white hat, I friggin' love it. That's borderline iconic.
I'm just going to believe it in my head to help out.
Same.
It's just Makes sense. Also, I just remembered they changed the HP logo to like blue and white. Why don't they do that?
That. You all have heard us complain about how much we hate the HP logo and the fact that, like, they went with the colorway that they did, and then they give you a different colorway, and I'm like, why couldn't you have done this, like, from the jump? The math doesn't math for me.
Never.
But I know people heard me screaming over the friggin' pink V-carb. It's everything I didn't know I needed, and then some.
Big fan of it as well, too. I was obsessed. Their merch that they came out with, everything. They knew what they were doing, especially with like the wheel hubcap or like the rim, whatever you call it. I'm not a car girly like that, but you guys know what I'm talking about because it's like, it looked like the lid or like the top of a Red Bull can because they even had the little thing that like opens the lid to like drink out of it. And I was just like, chef's kiss. I loved it.
It's also the fact that they put the new Red Bull flavor on the nose of the car. Like, the placement was just perfect. From a design perspective, I have not a singular note other than I wish they had done it sooner. Or I wish they had done, like, I want them to do another version. If they have another flavor coming, I would love to see it. I think it's ingenious. It's kind of like how McLaren has, like, the Google Chrome wheel. I loved the use of, like, the top of the Red Bull can with the pop top. Like, just pure perfection. The livery, I think, that underwhelmed me the most was, like, the steak sauber with, like, the paint splatter. Because, like, it kind of was giving, like, you dumped a can of Floviz on the car. Because that's pretty much what it looks like. The color, like, it's cool, but, like, it's not super different from their normal livery. It just kind of left me mildly underwhelmed.
Yeah, the Merc one, it looked like to me they were trying to do like a sunset thing, but they went a little too purpley with their sunset vibe. And I sent Amy this tweet, a screenshot of the tweet where they look like tampon wrappers.
They do. It's bad.
It was so bad. It's so bad.
Mercedes and Steak Sauber really hurt my soul with those liveries. It just wasn't it. I just, no. Take it back to the drawing board, guys. Please.
Exactly. Now, going on to the special lids, it was literally just special lids galore going into the weekend. So it just looked like majority of the drivers took advantage of the Miami vibe, which I'm not going to complain because if you've been there, you know the vibes. And, of course, we had lids from Charles, Lewis, Albon, which actually was one of my favorites. I love the orange that he did. It's Florida orange, of course. Isaac and Liam, and, of course, they had theirs, like, matching with the whole pink livery, which, again, love that.
Isaac gave us the hot pink with, like, formula stuff on the back. I don't know if that's supposed to be, like, formulas for aerodynamics in, like, F1 or, like, what it was supposed to be formulas for. But I loved it.
I heard it's supposed to be like a nod to his dad because he's some type of like physicist. Aww. I forgot what kind. But he does that with his like helmets.
Isaac Hajar, I love you so much. You're
My
so
pookie.
precious. Stop. But y'all, we literally had 11 specialty helmets. Yes, I said 11. You guys all know that I love a specialty helmet, so I was in absolute heaven. Lando Norris gave us a literal disco ball, which, yes, you bet your ass I grabbed a mini of that helmet. Fun fact, the helmet that he used in his photo shoot when he did his announcement is not the helmet he raced with. The helmet he used for his photo shoot is a one-of-one. It uses actual pieces of disco ball, which is just iconic, but therefore that version is not legal to race with because reflection. What he drove with is like sticker, like vinyl. It still gives the same kind of effect, but it is safer. We also had George with a new helmet. Jack Doohan had a collab with Jason from the Oppenheim group, also known as the guy from Selling Sunset, or one of the guys from Selling Sunset. It was kind of for me. Kimi had a helmet. SD Bestie gave us a really fun graffiti lid that I just loved. And then, like, lastly, we had Pierre Gasly, who casually snuck in a collaborated helmet. that, like, I don't think I saw anything about this until, like, midday Friday. And I was just kind of like, oh, okay, Pierre, you are doing a helmet, I guess.
He probably forgot about it.
Maybe.
Probably did. But yeah, nah, I literally gasped when I saw Lando's helmet. I love that all of his special Miami helmets are some sort of, like, ball. Like, he has the basketball, the beach ball, and now the disco ball. So, love that he's
The man
kept
loves a
theme.
theme.
He loves a theme, but he's so good at helmets. I've said this before. In my
He
opinion,
really
he
is.
is one of the best on the grid at, like, designing a helmet. And he really went out with this one.
No, he really is good because, I mean, maybe for next year he'll do like a soccer ball with like the Miami FC colors.
Ooh.
I wouldn't be surprised because, I mean, like, realistically speaking, like, what other ball themes are there that he can do besides, like, I mean, Alex had a golf ball last year.
Mm-hmm.
What did they play paddle with? Is it like badminton? I don't know. Tennis ball.
don't
Tennis
know.
ball maybe. But his specialty
The opportunities are endless.
right, and his like the lid, the actual disco ball one, it just reminded me of like Space Miami, which is like a big club down there in Miami, and like the terrace and everything. I've never gone, but I've only seen videos, but I was just like, haha. Him being into EDM and everything, I'm like, that's pretty cool. So, but of course, we always have more news going into.
I'm sorry, I will mute.
It's okay. We have more news going into the Miami Grand Prix weekend. So it was actually announced that the contract for the Grand Prix held in Miami was extended until, are you ready? 2041.
That's a long ass time.
That is a very long time. Now, I can see why people are upset because, like, they're taking away, like, the iconic racetracks in Europe, you know, in Turkey, in Germany, France. Spa's already, like, an alternating, like, schedule. I think Nürburgring is, like, another one that's,
Yep.
like, a risk and everything. So it's like, we have enough in the U.S. at the same time.
I will be 39.
Oh my God, please. I don't want to think about how
Don't
old
make
I'm
me
gonna
think
be.
about how old I'm gonna be, Meg.
I will be 39.
Meg back at it again, calling us old without saying it.
No. Listen, that was not the point of me saying that at all. I was saying how
I'm kidding.
it's crazy that I'm 22 and I'm going to be 39 by the time that this contract expires.
It's crazy.
That's I feel like we never see tracks get extensions for that long anymore, and I'm a little surprised that they didn't do like just like a 5-year extension.
Like they have with other ones.
You did not need to go that long, guys. That's a little bold if you ask
It's
me.
overkill, really, because you can tell they're obviously trying to make this Grand Prix into like the Monaco of the United States.
Yes,
They definitely are.
absolutely. Now, we cannot gloss over what I would call some of the biggest news of the weekend, and that is we have a new girl dad on the grid in Max Emilian Verstappen. The Verstappen PK family has officially announced their new little bundle of joy, Miss Lily Verstappen, PK Verstappen, Lily Verstappen. We haven't gotten confirmation on like the legal last name yet. All we know is her first name is Lily. She's here. She's happy. She is healthy. Congratulations, guys.
Very exciting news.
Yes.
I want to know how Max was able to just get away from all that, because I would just imagine anyone would just want to soak in all the newborn babiness.
I mean, we don't know for sure when she was born. So I do kind of wonder, like, how much time he had with her and Kelly before he had to leave. Obviously, he's got a little bit of a break between now and the next race. So,
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like,
Hopefully-
even if it was like a few, I don't know. Me personally, if I was Kelly, I would feel some type of way and be like, this is why you guys have reserve drivers. But that's me. So it's just like soak in the new babiness. I mean, like they literally say, it all goes, they grow up in the blink of an eye. So it's like, don't blink. But yeah, it's exciting. I can't wait to see how she grows up and everything. I think someone
I
had
know.
tweeted like about, or I think it was like F1 Academy, like congratulating them, and it's like we can't wait to see you like join the academy and everything. So I thought that was really really sweet of them to do. So very very exciting news. A little Aries on our hands. Now, it was announced by Cadillac that they were going to be doing a special showcase on Saturday to kind of show the colors of their livery and their race suits. If you were on social media, you can see like videos of it. All I saw was that their race suit was like blue and silver. Um, Excited to root for an American team because, as we all have said, Haas doesn't really feel so American.
They're not. They're the least American team to be based in North Carolina, of all places, like, ever.
Exactly, the least. So, very excited about that and just seeing how they will perform on the grid and everything. And again, it's just gonna be fun rooting for an actual American team with an American name and all that stuff.
I feel like a lot of people were a little critical of the showcase video because I don't think people knew what to expect, and I feel like some people were expecting like physical stuff versus like a teaser video. The video was cool, albeit mildly underwhelming. But I'm very excited to see like what the car will actually look like in real life, because I'm assuming the livery that they showed in the video is not going to be exactly what they have on the car when they come on in 2026. Only time will tell. I think everybody is just really excited to have another team. I am really friggin' excited to see who their driver lineup is.
There's so many
The F1
rumors.
rumor mill has been going friggin' wild with potential people. I've heard Pato O'Ward, which, like, heck yeah, I love that idea. Will he leave Indy? I don't think so.
There's Checo.
There's been Checo. There's been Mick Schumacher. Daniel Ricciardo. Like, the opportunities and names are just, like, endless. It's freaking crazy.
You bring up Danny Ricciardo, but even he's been rumored to join NASCAR, which I feel like is kind of on brand for him.
No, he's openly said he hates ovals, so I'm so surprised by that rumor.
So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like his personality would like fit in with like the NASCAR crowd, but that's just me. But I was just like, huh, interesting.
I will say, speaking of Danny is now linked with F1 Academy, and Enchante is sponsoring one of the V-Carb drivers, Raffaella,
Such
and
a
I
smart move.
think that is so epic and iconic. It keeps it's great promotion for his brand. So, like, pop off, sir. It's a great way for him to stay connected in motorsport without necessarily having to get behind the wheel if he doesn't want to. So I think it's just like a really good move for him, like, all around.
All right. Yeah, exactly. So anyways, we can keep on talking about all the stuff going into the weekend because, listen, a lot of stuff does happen leading into the race. But as we know, Miami is a sprint weekend, so that means we only get one free practice going into it. And it wasn't much going on except that Ollie went into the barriers, bringing out a very late red flag at the end of the session, bringing Oscar to P1 and then Charles in P2, followed by Max in P3.
Your bottom five was Oliver Bierman, Pierre Gasly, Esteban Ocon, Jack Doohan, and Lance Stroll. Now, moving into sprint quali and sprint quali 1, honestly, sprint quali was kind of like, SQ1 was, for me at least, like, kind of dull.
It wasn't that exciting.
There was nothing wild, people. Like, the craziest thing, I feel like, was the radio messages from certain drivers. But your eliminated drivers was Lance Stroll in 16th, Jack Doohan in 17th, Yuki Tsunoda in 18th, Gabriel Bortoleto in 19th, and Ollie Bierman in 20th.
And then your top three was George in P1, Kimi in P2, and then Alex in a Williams in P3.
King.
Exactly. King moves right there. It's that orange helmet right there. And as Amy mentioned, the only exciting part was really the radio messages because Jack did not sound happy over the radio at all about his elimination.
That man sounded pissed. Like, I have watched a lot of Jack Doohan racing. I've heard a lot of Jack Doohan radio messages. I have not heard him sound that ticked off in a while. It was kind of surprising. I can't lie.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, he was just upset that he was like let out into the session too late, so it didn't give him enough time to like get like that fast lap in and everything like that, which makes sense. It's like it's all about timing, and the sprint qualies, they're a little bit cutthroat with their timing, where it's like boom, boom, boom as well too. So, Now going into SQ2, it was a little bit of the same. The radio messages were just the most exciting part because Alex just goes over his radio and literally says, quote, "I don't know how that Merc is legal," because that Merc was flying by him, I guess, like a bajillion times, and I was just dying after his little comment.
Honestly, seeing Carlos bail out because of his lockup, like, really, really hurt my heart. I can't even lie.
Hurt more than seeing his face sitting at Home Depot. He was miserable.
Megan!
If you've seen those TikToks, you'd know he just looks so miserable. Poor guy.
Like, the fact that he was sitting at Home Depot and then
Of all places.
Well, and then you had Alex and James, like, in, like, what are they, the Blue Angel, like, fighter jets? Like, I don't know if, like...
Yes.
I don't know if it was, like, oh, I don't know if he was like, oh, I don't want to do that, or what, but, like...
The marketing moves were so...
questionable.
So weird. So weird from Williams. What was Home Depot? Really?
For Duracell.
Really?
I know it was for Duracell, but, like, I don't understand why they
You
wouldn't
could
just
have
have an
picked a
event
better...
somewhere.
Yeah, you could have done more, guys.
The TikToks are just hilarious from that event. If you haven't checked it out, check them out. It's gold. It's truly gold. But eliminated from SQ2, we had Nico in 11th, Esteban in 12th, Pierre 13th, Liam 14th, and Carlos in 15th.
Your top three was Lando in P1, Max in P2, and Oscar in P3.
Now going into SQ3, all I have to say is I love when I see Isaac just finishing out in Q3 or SQ3. Like, he's my little, like, rookie Pookie is what I now call him. I love that guy. I will protect him. I want him in my pocket. So I just love seeing him doing so good.
Honestly, Isaac Hadjar has moved faster than Franco Colapinto with the way he has wormed his way into F1 fans' hearts.
I do miss Franco.
And I love it because I have always been an Isaac Hadjar stan, and it's just fantastic that other people are realizing how amazing this man is. I will say I am still processing hearing people refer to Oscar Piastri as the World Drivers' Championship leader. It's definitely a phrase that I'm still getting used to, but I love to hear it. I cannot even lie. I will say, though, people, I really need to have a chit chat with VCarb because, like, what was that release? They had me shaking my head a little too often during sprint quali because, like, sometimes their calls were just a little off.
It was a terrible, terrible release. I had to chuckle at that moment because it's just like, what do you do about that once it happens?
Absolutely nothing. There's literally nothing that you can do. Now, again, I'm back at it again, people, with the screaming. My poor neighbors during F1 weekends must be really concerned because Kimi Antonelli had me on the floor. I'm sorry. What did I just see?
No, seriously, I was screaming as well, too, because I didn't doubt him. I was just interested to see how he would perform with the hype going on around him before, like, once he was signed with, like, Mercedes and him being the replacement for Lewis. And it's like, there's a lot of opinions around that. But I was just like, I'm just curious to see how it is and all that stuff. But he is definitely making a name for himself at this point. I mean, he's the youngest pole sitter in any race format in F1 history. Like, what a rookie. What a rookie. And, of course, every Grand Prix weekend, there's always celebrities doing hot laps. And he actually did a hot lap with Daddy Yankee. If you know the song, Gasolina, you know. So maybe it was that Gasolina that helped him out.
I had not a singular note to give. Andrea, Kimi, Antonelli, Benfato, Bravo, bravo, bravo. I love that this kid has continuously just like made me eat my words. Everybody knows that I was really critical of the move to bring him to Mercedes and the fact that he like skipped F3, didn't do more than a year in F2, but he has like continuously impressed me.
He's been proving everyone wrong. It's amazing.
Fantastic. I love it. I love when someone proves me wrong because it's just really kind of fun. And I really did not expect him to do quite so well. I sure as heck was not expecting a sprint quali pole from him on like his first year at all. But what really got me was Bono. I think we're getting somewhere. That brought me so much joy, especially with his little smirk. Sir, I saw that. You were so happy. He was so smug.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone can take a poll that isn't my guy Lando, like, I'll let it be Kimi. Like, it was just honest. I couldn't believe that it happened. Like, once I saw his name go to the top of, like, the timing charts, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. But, like, even just, like, his attitude and, like, how he comments on things and, like, how he is with the press, like, that's also what impresses me, honestly. Like, he's 18 years old, but he's more mature than some of the older drivers on the grid, in my opinion.
No, he really is. And it's just the way that whole process went, where it was like him leading up to like pole was just like insane because it was just like, I think George was like up there for like a hot second. And then it was like Max. And then there was like the McLaren boys. And it's all of a sudden like you just hear like Kimmy's like on pole. And I was just like, holy shit. And I was just like, oh my God. A rookie like on there and everything. That kid's gonna do a lot of stuff. That's what I'm gonna say. He's definitely someone to keep an eye out for. But your top 10 going into the sprint race, we had, of course, Kimi in P1, as we had mentioned. Oscar in P2, Lando in P3. P4, we had Max, followed by George in P5. P6 was Charles. P7 was Lewis. Don't talk to me. I am so mad at Ferrari still. P8 was Alex. P9, Isaac. And P10 was another rookie, Fernando. You guys will never get tired of me referencing Fernando as a rookie. It's gonna happen.
He is, though. He will forever and always be stuck as a rookie. You cannot tell me otherwise. I'm sorry. Mel's right.
All right. So, of course, we have to go into the sprint race next. And the Ferrari pain just continues. The Tifosi, we're all just going to be going to the same mental health facility at this point, and Ferrari's going to get a huge bill. Because Charles did not start. Why, you ask? Because before the race, he hit a damn wall. A wall. Because he had the wrong tires on.
Ferrari's gonna Ferrari.
I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of it.
I mean, it's better than when he hit the wall twice when I went to Miami with Chels and Leanne. Like,
in the same spot.
In the same spot.
Yeah. It's a curse.
I swear to God, he must be cursed in Miami in particular, because I don't think he's ever really had a good time here.
No. I don't think so either.
Except for last year. He finished on the podium.
That
True.
is true.
I feel like the U.S. races for Charles Leclerc are either they're very hit or miss. He's either fine or he's cursed. Mm-hmm. There's no in between.
All I know is we need to like do an egg cleanse on him, or on Ferrari as a whole. Now.
Honey, I don't know if that's gonna help.
I don't think anything's gonna help. I don't.
It's not him and Lewis. It's Ferrari.
It's
Exactly.
Ferrari.
It's Ferrari.
Whatever Etsy witch cursed Ferrari, baby. I want to talk because like, who hurt you?
I need to hit up a TikTok witch now. That's what I need to do. Just like reverse the curse on them. That's all.
I do have to say, Oscar Piastri is just like, he has become my new fave. And that start from him in the sprint race was just complete fire. I have no words, sir.
No, I have to completely agree with that. It was chef's kiss. And then, of course, it wouldn't be a race without some drama because we had a collision between Max and Kimi in the pits. Yes, in the pits. Max was actually penalized 10 seconds for the unsafe release, but if you ask me, in my humble opinion, the team should be fine too, since it was definitely their fault and not Max's, because they're the one telling Max he's clear to go and he's gonna do as he says, or do as he's told to do, you know? But it's just like,
Say it louder for the people in the goddamn back, because it was definitely on the Red Bull crew.
it's just,
My heart broke for Kimi. I can't even lie.
it is just like, come on now, come on. Like,
And even
I feel-
even Kimmy admitted it. He's like, it's not Max's fault. I
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Like, Max had no
and,
choice.
and even Max was just like, come on, like we have to do better than this or something. Like his like radio message, like, you know, like he was pissed off at the pit crew because he's just like, are you guys serious right now? Like,
He was giving disappointed. It wasn't even pissed.
he was
It just
disappointed
like
father. That's what it was.
Yes, he's getting he's practicing the disappointed dad voice. Absolutely.
100%.
But like things like that it is 2025. Most of these crew members have been with teams for a long time. This shouldn't be happening. You guys know better than that.
And especially
I'm
from
sorry.
Red Bull,
What the
too.
hell?
Like, you don't expect that stuff from Red Bull. Maybe Ferrari. Most likely Ferrari. But not Red Bull. Come on now. Come on.
That
It's like, I get it. I get it, Max. I get it. Be disappointed. Be that disappointed father. But of course, would it be a race without some DNFs? Because we had a DNF from Carlos. And then we had a DNF from everyone's favorite rookie, Fernando, because he had a collision with Liam that caused him to just get out of the race.
The two that hate each other the most on the grid. Yeah, when I saw that though, I was like, okay, Liam legitimate. He did like drive right into him. Like,
I mean,
like,
if we know Liam has like beef with like every single older driver on the grid
yeah,
for whatever reason.
especially like Fernando. Him and Fernando just beef. But yeah.
Liam's getting a little too cocky, and he needs to take it down about like 5 notches because he's too young for that shit.
Exactly.
No. Sit down, boy. Sit down.
Sit down in that
Also-
V-carb seat.
Also, no offense, but like he's not good enough right now to be cocky. Like,
And that's why he switched from the Red Bull to the V-carb. And Yuki's in that Red Bull
Exactly.
now.
like if he was like actually doing well, like it'd be one thing to be cocky, but like he has no reason to be cocky.
Exactly.
Anywho, my favorite radio message from the sprint is Will Joseph telling Lando to buy a lottery ticket because of his luck at Miami. Granted, I still think the sprint race, I think it would have ended the same way if there wasn't a safety car because of the gaps between drivers, but anyways, I really enjoyed that radio message and I thought it was funny because Oscar had the complete opposite radio message. He said the complete opposite thing at around the same time. So.
You know, lottery tickets are... I don't play the lottery, so I wouldn't know. So
They also increased the prices of lottery tickets too.
it's those damn tariffs. So what do you expect? But, of course, the top 8 in the points, we had Lando in P1, followed by Oscar in P2, making him McLaren 1-2. Lewis in P3, so that Tifosi Payne was a lead for a little bit, followed by Alex in P4.
We had George in P5, Lance in P6, Liam in P7, and Ollie in P8.
Now, of course, as we know, sprint race and quali both take place on the same day. Yes, it's a little confusing. Yes, it's a little, I don't know, weird, if you will.
Chaotic?
Exactly. But here we are. Because after the sprint race, we had the following from the FIA. First, we had a reprimand for Charles and his incident. Because, of course, that's just a Ferrari luck and his bad luck that he has. And then a 5-second penalty for Alex and Liam.
Now, when we start Q1, there's like pretty much from the jump already another potential infringement for Mr. Albano, and I kind of hated every second of it, people.
And speaking of hating every single second, I'm going to need Ferrari to get their ish together because I'm tired of being a midfield team. I'm exhausted.
But, like, really, though, Lewis being the one in 12th, like, that hurts.
It makes no sense.
The math doesn't math. How many times do I have to say that phrase?
How are you going to
in
finish?
reference to Ferrari.
How are you going to finish in P3 and the sprint and then...
Now you feel my pain of being a McLaren fan prior to last year.
So what you're telling me is it's only up from here at some point in the future.
I mean, it's gotta be.
Some point.
I think honestly, next year, like with all the new regulations and everything, I think next year is like a fresh starting point for everyone. Like, exactly, I honestly don't know what next year's gonna bring.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm so excited for next year. I think it's gonna be wild.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Isaac Hajar. That is my goddamn rookie.
My rookie.
I love seeing him just like crush it. I don't know what happens with him in quali, but he just like consistently, like, he's always on. He's very reliable, which is just really, really nice to see. The rookie that shocked me, because I really did not see this coming, was seeing Jack Doohan as the lead Alpine by like the tail end of Q1.
Hey, I mean, he has so much pressure on him from his team and the media. Mm-hmm. But, like, they really need to acknowledge the fact that he's the lead Alpine for the race. And he did a good job getting out of Q1 when Pierre did not. So, I don't know. I'm kind of scared for Jack and his future. I'm hopeful, but with the triple header coming up, I don't know.
We can only wish the best for him because I want him to do good. I really do. I want all the rookies to do good, if we're being honest.
I would love to see the season end with all of the rookies that we started the season with still on the grid by the end of the season. That is what I really want to friggin' see. Keep all the rookies. Contracts should be upheld, for the love of God. What the hell is the point of a contract if, like, the date at the end of it doesn't actually mean anything?
No, agreed.
Rant over.
Agreed. Lexi clearly agrees too with her whining behind me. And then for our top 3 out of Q1, we had Max in P1, Lando in P2, and Oscar in P3.
Out at the end of Q1 was Nico Hulkenberg, Fernando Alonso, Pierre Gasly, Lance Stroll, and Oliver Bierman.
Haha, Lance continuing that streak of most Q1 exits by a driver.
I mean, you have to be legendary in one way or another, right?
Yeah, I mean, he took it over from K-Mag, so, like, one legend to the next. Like, I still think it's funny that he was like, put me in a McLaren and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I do get that, but, like, at the same time, dude, I don't think you're on Lando and Oscar's level.
You have Adrian Newey on the team, and you're still getting on Q1.
I mean, Newey has not had his hands on the 2025 Aston Martin, so, like...
He's working on the 26.
That's true.
He's working on the 26, so, like, the car's performance is in the garbage because neither Aston cars are performing well, period. It's not just Lance. But I really hope that 2026 we see a better chance for Lance if we see Lance in the car. Who fucking knows what's going to happen?
I don't really care for the dude. You guys know how I feel about him, so I'll leave it at that.
As long as his dad owns the team, he'll be there.
Exactly, so. And that's...
As Chels said, send him to tennis.
Exactly, period.
Seeing Lewis out in Q2 hurt so bad.
So I don't know who from PGP is going to join me, but I'm about to fly out to Maranello. I don't know with what money. And I'm just going to have a word with Ferrari as a whole, because it's just, I'm pissed. That's all.
Listen, even my mom was concerned. She was like, wait a second. Because watching the race today, basic after quality, she was like, is that Lewis all the way back there? I was like, yeah, Mom. She was like, oh, that's not right. And I was like, no,
It's
It's
not.
not right.
Your top three at the end of Q2 was Oscar in P1, Lando in P2, and George in P3.
And then out we had Isaac, not my little pokey rookie. Very sad about that. Lewis, no words. Gabriel, Jack, and Liam.
Honestly, Isaac Hajar's radio message at the end of Q2, baby, please stop giving me F2 flashbacks. I love you, but like no, F2 was enough. If you haven't heard his F2 radio messages, he was unhinged and loved to scream on the radio. I think he's finally learned to not press the radio button when he needs to shout it out.
We all know how Yuki was.
They even made a comment about it on F1 TV. They were like, oh, he's learned to not press the radio button. And I was dying. But
that man was so loud in F2. It was crazy.
I mean, he is French, so like valid, no big deal. But speaking of radio messages, Charles, that one hurt because all he talked about was like giving it his all, and that was all the speed that he had. Just throw the whole car away. We'll be back in 2026 at this point.
it's in brighter news. Bortoletto made it into Q2 though. I think that kind of went under the rug. Like, although he did get eliminated in Q2, like he made it out and he outqualified Nico for the first time. So like,
And that says a lot right there when that happens.
good for him. I guess that's good progress for Sauber. I guarantee they're also hoping for 26 to come so that Audi will step in, but
They won't have that weird long ass name anymore.
yeah, what is it? F1
Steak Sauber.
kick F1 Sauber steak whatever the hell it is.
F1 team. It's so weird. So weird. But we have to go into Q3 now. And I have to mention, there was a 3 milliseconds, that close between Max, who was on pole at one point, or was on pole, and Lando in P2. Like, it's insane how the times are so close and those little time differences just shake up a lot.
Honestly, my jaw was absolutely on the floor. I think I stopped breathing for a hot sec. It was definitely tense.
Yeah, definitely had me on the edge of my seat because I know exactly that those 3 milliseconds or whatever came from the last corner. I know that's where it was. If Lando nailed that last corner, he would have been on pole. It's fine. Everything's fine. But I don't know. Controversial coming from me, but honestly, I think Lando does better when he starts from P2. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's because he's in a better headspace. He doesn't have the pressure from pole. But I just feel like statistically, he does better when he actually doesn't start from pole. So you know what? I'll take it.
And since the Miami Grand Prix has been going on, no one has won the race that has started on pole. So things were looking pretty good for the man as well too. So
That's what I'm
I
saying.
kind of get it. Of course, the Leclerc curse continues because there was a time lap deletion, and in my notes I had it's just not his weekend, but it's just not Ferrari's weekend as a whole.
Your top 10 was Max in P1, Lando in P2, Kimi in P3, Oscar in P4, George in P5.
And then P6 we had Carlos, P7 Alex, P8 Charles, P9 Esteban, and rounding out the top 10 we had my king Yuki. Now, of course, before every race, there's always a driver's parade. They always sometimes bring out like the retro cards. They have them like on top of a bus. This time, what did they do? Life-size Lego cars. I loved it. They looked like they were having so much fun. I've never seen anyone smile so big during a driver's parade than they did. Like, if you guys have Lewis on TikTok or on Twitter, he posted like his own video of like them all driving, like Pierre's like cackling like a fool. You see
There's
them,
SD Besties POV too, and
yes,
it's hilarious.
they're like crashing into each other. You just hear them go like, oh, and like it. There's like one video
They're
of, like,
overgrown children.
they really are. It just like there's like one video of like Charles and Lewis like pushing.
I could
like,
hear like Lando's laugh from a mile away.
It,
Like you
it
could
was,
just hear it.
It just goes to show like men really don't grow up. They just get older in age. Like they stay like with that immaturity. Chris says it all the time because I'm like, you're such a kid. But it just goes to show like their like child, like their inner child was just like out at play because like who wouldn't want to drive around like life size Lego cars
And,
like that?
And Max was still being competitive.
Yeah,
Did you
because he
see
was
that?
still driving on the racing line.
And he was pissed. He was pissed at the end. He was like, yeah, we were slow out there, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, chill. It's a Lego race.
It's a Lego race. It was just so funny whenever they collided because like the little Lego pieces were just coming apart. And like if you're like me and Meg, they're like Lego girlies, it sounded painful to say the least.
Man. I literally have my F1 Legos like right here and just like, ugh.
Same.
I need the teams to be able to keep the cars. Because, like, imagine walking into an F1 team's headquarters and, like, they've got all of their F1 race cars out, and then there's also the life-sized F1 Lego car. I need these teams to get them shipped somehow. Whether it's you ship them disassembled and, like, the team has to put it together. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, the team has to be able to keep these things. They're just so iconic.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever laughed so hard watching F1. Like, I don't normally laugh when I'm watching F1. I'm normally, like, screaming and, like, throwing things. But, like, I was genuinely, like, cackling just watching them have fun. And it was so nice to see them all just have fun together.
It was so refreshing. Like, really refreshing to see that.
That was, like, the best part, honestly, for me, was seeing them all happy and having fun together. Like, all 20 of them.
Agreed. Now, I could honestly talk about this Lego stuff, like, all day, because, like Meg said, it was, like, the highlight of, like, my weekend. But I do want to mention, because the commentators had mentioned this, it was Ollie's last race as a teenager. I felt so old.
Oh, he's growing
Because
up.
his birthday, his 20th birthday is this Thursday. So happy early birthday, Ollie. We love you.
Honestly, I feel like the start of this race was like a fever dream because all of a sudden there was a friggin' yellow flag. Like, dear God, I should not have had a cafecito right before the race started. That might have been a bad idea because my heart was simply not ready.
It was the worst because you didn't know where that like yellow flag came from, but it turned out that Jack had a puncture.
That puncture was enough for him to actually pull out a virtual safety car because, you know, apparently the Aussie and the Kiwi decided they wanted to fight each other. There was really nothing that Jack could have done, though.
No,
that's
really.
the sad part.
Exactly. And keep in mind, side note, this is the first of many virtual safety cars. Take a shot every time you hear us mention one.
Once
If you're
again-
21 older. I would
yeah.
mention that. If you're 21 and older, please. If not, take a shot of water.
Once again, Liam's at the scene of a crime. I'm just saying. Just saying. But y'all already know, not happy about that turn 2 incident at the start of the race. I mean, Lando only had 2 options, go into the wall or back out. I know everyone has a different opinion on it, but like if you watch his onboard, he was ahead. Like if you watch from Lando's POV. I'm just saying, if you look at the onboard.
I feel like they showed us his onboard, Max's onboard, multiple. Like all the POVs I saw, it looked to me, Meg, don't hate me, like Max was technically ahead. There was no further investigation according to the FIA. I also totally understand where Lando's frustration is coming from, though, because, like, there really is only 2 options for him in that scenario. But if the FIA is going to say it was like a racing incident, then the FIA is going to say there is no racing
And
incident.
we all know the FIA is going to FIA whenever they please at the end of the day, too.
Well, and also it's just like it seems like they don't care about like turn 1, turn 2 incidents anymore. Like it with what's happened recently, like honestly, what was it? Was it Jeddah? Was that the last race? Whatever happened. Like that happened. I mean, even in the sprint yesterday with Kimi and Oscar, like all this stuff. Although I think Oscar did leave Kimi room. I think he left him enough room. But I don't know. It just seems like everything on lap 1, they're just kind of like, yeah.
It's okay. It happens.
Yeah. And like I get it. If
Yeah.
there's nothing, obviously there's nothing, but like Lando legitimately, I think he had nowhere else to go. Max gave him no other option. He did not give him space.
Yeah.
Like that's the bottom line if he was ahead or not. I know the rule is if he's ahead at the apex, like everything else goes out the window. But like where else was Lando supposed to go, like Amy said? He had no other option other than be out of the race or lose a couple places.
And of course, it wouldn't be Florida and it wouldn't be Miami without some rain predictions. As we know, it was a rainy weekend because the FIA Academy's second race was canceled because of the rain. And radio messages just started coming out where it was rain expected around lap 14, quote, heavy.
I mean, we are on the East Coast. It is spring. Rain is like a requirement, I feel like, we are all the East Coast girlies on this episode. And so, like, rain in the spring makes sense. But it's also like, okay, it could say it's going to rain and it might never actually hit.
Sorry, I was seeing what Chelsea was typing.
So was I.
Chelsea had flood warnings? Oh, dear God.
I was like looking. I was like,
I don't know if
Florida's gonna Florida.
Well, she's also in Atlanta right now. Oh wait, no, you know what? She probably gets alerts for Miami, so you know.
I do.
I do have to say though, I really, really need to figure out what the hell is going on with Fernando Alonso.
He's a rookie.
Because
It's okay.
I do not understand what has happened with this man.
It
doesn't make sense.
He's a rookie. It makes a little sense. We gotta give him grace. He's our rookie pookie too. So
Listen, all I'm saying, this is what I'm predicting. Max is going to leave Red Bull, go to Aston. Fernando's going to retire. And so Max can be with Nui. I think that's what's going to happen.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I raise you a theory because I do see Max at Aston, but I don't see him replacing Fernando. I think he's taking Lance's seat. Because why wouldn't you pair
Two
Lance
strong drivers.
and Max as a pairing doesn't make sense. Like Lance isn't enough support.
I agree. The only reason why I said that is because if Lawrence still owns the team. If the rumors are true where like that Saudi group is going to buy Aston Martin, then I see Lance going bye-bye, and that would be Max and Fernando. It all depends on the ownership of Aston Martin. I think that's what's going to dictate and determine who their driver lineup is.
Not Max pulling a Cristiano Ronaldo and going up to a Saudi team. If you know, you know. But speaking of Max, I gotta say, the battle for P1 was honestly so much fun to watch. I like when they do like that wheel to wheel action where it's like you see one like going a little ahead and then like the next one you see how like one like breaks late or like, you know, turns a certain. It's just I like seeing stuff like that, like good clean like fighting, if you will.
I was like so beyond conflicted because it was like my favorites fighting each other. So I was just like really stressed. But I really, for the love of God, need Red Bull to kind of at least attempt to get this car together. Please. Thank you. Because Max was like complaining quite a lot and I just don't like it.
Yeah, he I forgot. I remember hearing him complain a lot about like his car. And we had another fun battle going on at the same time too because we had Max versus Lando. And while that was fun, all I can say is dear Lord, because we know Lando's trying to fight for that top spot in the Drivers' Championship as well, too.
Girl, to say I was holding my breath and I stopped
I
breathing.
don't blame you.
Like, I just get so nervous when Max and Lando, like, are battling ever since Austria and Mexico and I guess everywhere else at the end of last season.
You
Like,
got PTSD, girl. It's okay.
I do, because I just feel like Max does not give a flying fuck about Lando. Like
No.
honestly, like, you can tell in the racing, and I think he races people differently based on
We
who's
see
in the
how he
car.
is with Charles too, so
Like, I honestly thinks improper grammar, but I honestly think that he races Lando and Oscar differently. Like, you could see that today. But anyways, yeah, very stressful, especially considering what happened at the beginning of the race. But he eventually got by, so it's okay. He got by.
it was worth the battle.
It was worth the battle. And about the comment about the Red Bull car, I honestly think the car is better than Red Bull thinks. I just think they're not, like, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Since Nui's gone, I feel like they're not able to, like, access its true potential because it's a Nui designed car. So obviously he knows all the inner workings and everything. Unless he, like, left the list. I don't know how that fucking works. But I just think they have a good car, and I think they're just making a lot of excuses for it, and I never agree with Zach Brown. Trust. But he said that, like, they just need to focus on themselves and stop complaining because they actually have a decent car. Like, they're able to fight at the top. It's just they're not able to get the full potential out of the car.
Because
I
they
think.
probably don't like you said, they probably don't understand it to its full potential. Yeah, no, it makes sense. Makes sense.
Honestly, I think my favorite thing this whole entire race was the 8.5 second gap that Oscar managed to pull from Lando and Max. Like,
Iceman
Jesus
move.
Christ.
Iceman
That
moves.
was so iconic. He just, like, blinders on, head down, was just like, I'm a punch it.
Love it.
I mean, the battle alone with Lando and Max was just insane. But seeing that gap was honestly even better.
It's the McLaren pace and clean air, man.
Exactly.
The craziest thing to me was when the F1 TV team made a note that it looked like Alex Albano went against, or potentially went against, team orders. That really surprised me because that feels like not a very Alex thing, but, like, I mean, I guess go off? I don't know. I'm conflicted on it.
Very. And speaking of confliction, Ferrari, why the absolute heck is Lewis behind Ocon? No shade to Ocon, but why is he behind Ocon in a Haas? A freaking Ferrari engine customer. Riddle me that.
Girl, I literally thought that Lewis was about to get taken out by SD.
And
at
we
one
know
point.
how SD is too. Like, he just does not care about anyone.
Oh, yeah. No, that man does not care.
No. But, of course, the chaos continues because Ollie's engine blew out of nowhere.
Poor little Ollie Bear. He has no luck. I don't know what is going on. He brought out a VSC literally as the rain, like, kind of started. I never felt like it really rained.
Probably was like a sprinkle, I feel like. Maybe like a light drizzle.
Yeah, but not anything, like, of substance.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you just hear Gabriel on the radio talking about his engine failing. Like, if it literally was just like one thing after the other at this point. And of course it was the rookies on top of that.
Somebody cursed the rookies for Miami, I swear. We had Yuki Tsunoda somehow getting noted for speeding in the pit lane. I completely missed that moment. I heard the F1 TV team mention it, and I was just like, I'm sorry, he what?
Yeah, he actually, you see him, like, they showed a replay of that, like, when he was entering the pit lane, and you see him, like, braking kind of late. Like, at, like, a little corner or something like that. But you can see, like, clearly, like, he was a man on a mission. And, of course, he got a 5-second penalty for that, which is not fun. And then, but I do want to mention, which was really cool to see, that double overtake in the both Williams cars. We had Carlos overtaking Charles, and we had Alex overtaking Kimi.
Such a thing of beauty. We need more of that. I love a double overtake. I feel like it never happens. But seeing Gabriel Bortoleto being told to retire his car just really broke my heart.
Yeah, every rookie except for Kimi and Isaac retired. So,
Our Pookies.
lots of retirements today. And
We
I'm
had to,
including
like, Fernando,
including
too.
Fernando. Yeah. Well, he didn't retire,
But
but
at least he didn't, another rookie.
yeah.
We hit lap 33 and we're back at it again with another VSC. I mean, I'd rather a VSC than a full safety car, so like it is what it is. The thing that made me laugh was seeing both of the Ferraris get overtakes, like through go the Ferraris, I guess. I mean, I'm here for it. But we had a very, very frustrated 7-time world champion on the radio. Good God.
I honestly didn't blame him at all. I am a very big Charles fan as well as a Lewis fan, but Ferrari fan. But I mean, it was clear that he was going a lot faster than Charles. So like, I get the frustration.
I mean, his radio message says it all. And then this is a direct quote that I wrote down because I was not about to miss this one. This is not good teamwork. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, talk about a mic drop.
I mean, I was waiting for that comment after China, like the F1 team said. They pointed it out, and I was like, oh, very good point. Lewis was a team player, and yep.
Ferrari is going to Ferrari. Why are we all surprised? The thing that surprised me, though, was the fact that it took Liam Lawson to, like, pretty much the tail end of the race to, like, finally have issues from his collision with Jack.
And I kind of forgot about the collision, to be honest.
I was impressed it took that long for his car to finally have an issue. But we followed that up with Lewis Hamilton giving us yet another spicy, sassy radio message with a have a tea break while you're at it. I mean, come on. All of that is a direct quote.
No, literally. And it's very British of him to say tea break instead of coffee break, But, I mean, to be honest, that comment and that energy from Lewis is what Ferrari needs as a whole, because Lewis being critical about stuff like this, like, it's important. Like, they need to make decisions and everything. I get Charles is like, the Ferrari prodigy and all that stuff, like the destined boy to get like the world drivers champion, blah, blah, blah. Again, I'm a Charles fan. Love that boy too. But something's got to give. Something's got to change. And also, Charles, take note of speaking up like that as well too, because Ferrari in the past, they've been so used to having their drivers kind of being like pushovers, where it's like they don't really stand up, or they don't really like take their own direction, I guess. So it's like kind of nice and seeing like Lewis being like, no, like, come on, like being like sassy like that, or being like direct, like have a tea break while you're at it, like, come on, and like expressing his frustration as he should. But again, Ferrari's gonna keep on Ferraring because, again, Lewis was told to swap with Charles just with 5-ish laps to go. Their points were just gonna be the same at the end of the race, so I kind of thought it was just gonna be their points as a team, like Ferrari team. But yeah, no, it's just like I didn't really honestly see the point in that swap, because I mean, I get it, maximize the points for the team and the constructors, but there wasn't really a difference in them swapping positions. Just my opinion.
Honestly, one of the impressive things for me too, and I know I'm a Lando girl, so whatever, but like, he closed the 9-second gap to Oscar to under 4 seconds by the end of the race, including having a pit stop during that time. So, and he was Jesus Christ, I can't speak. Lapping faster than Oscar by the end of the race. I would have loved to have seen what would have happened if turn 2 didn't happen, but shoulda, coulda, wouldas. It's okay, and I'm still happy to see Oscar win. Like, he's still my McLaren boy too. Like, And they got a 1-2, so I can't complain too much. Like, it's okay at the end of the day.
It could be a lot worse. You can be a Ferrari fan like me.
Yeah.
It was still a good day for the Papaya Boys. I mean, we had Oscar going with the killer win after starting in 4th. So, like, I gotta say, go off, King, because that was iconic. I also just kind of selfishly love that my P1 prediction was right last episode. But your podium at the end of the race was Oscar in P1, Lando in P2, and George in P3.
Oh, speaking of this, I wonder if there's an update, but George did get summoned to the stewards because Red Bull made
There
a
is no
stink.
update.
There is no update? Okay.
There is no update, but I do have a breaking update as of literally 3 minutes ago. Pierre Gasly got a warning for failing to slow for yellow flags due to the, quote, unique scenario of there being no light panel or audible warning, just one waved yellow against a yellow background on a quick part of the circuit. His car was also hidden, so it's seen as a mitigating circumstance.
Interesting. That makes
Breaking news.
I will say that makes no sense to me if you ask me, but I mean, pop off, I guess. I don't know.
I guess it's a good thing for him. It's just a warning. It's not like
a
he's
disqualification or a penalty.
Yeah, or he's not getting any penalties for like failing to slow under yellows.
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
a good thing. Nobody wants to deal with that when it wasn't really his fault.
Yeah. And I do want to mention, it does continue the Miami tradition where the winner did not start on pole.
You are very right.
So, do want to mention that. And of course, driver of the day goes to Oscar Piastri.
Fastest lap goes to Lando Norris. Unfortunately, does not score points anymore. So,
I think they should still keep that.
so do I.
Bring it back.
Bring it the F back.
It adds a whole nother level of competitiveness.
Exactly.
Like Will Joseph made a comment about it. Because I'm already watching all of Lando's onboards during the whole race to keep my eye on him. He literally made the comment, shame we don't get that point anymore.
It's just nice to see like who gets it and everything. I don't know.
Well, because it added drama. Because people would literally pit at the last second to get the fastest lap.
Mm-hmm.
Like it added stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever. Ugh.
Maybe they'll bring it back. Who knows? And then, of course, we had many DNFs, but we're here to remind you. We had DNFs from Jack, Ollie, Gabriel, and Liam. Yes, majority of the rookies. But what had me absolutely cackling, laughing on the floor was Oscar doing the gritty after parking his car. It was a quick, funny one, but it was so funny to see.
A promise is a promise.
What really had me was the fact that the F1 TV team was just like, oh, look at the dance moves. And I'm like, no. Call it what it is, motherfuckers.
It's the gritty.
Call it what it is. I do have to come at us with a fun fact, because what's a PGP episode without, like, at least one or two fun facts? This makes Oscar Piastri the first McLaren driver since Mika Hakkinen in 1997/1998 to win 3 consecutive races in a row. How crazy is that?
I love that.
That's a really long time ago when you think about it.
That's pretty epic.
Now, post-race, we had Carlos Sainz being summoned to the stewards for allegedly failing to slow during yellow flags during the race. So far, I have not seen any new information on what the outcome of that scenario was. But we'll keep you posted. If there's news, we'll try to keep you in the know. Now, it's not a PGP episode without predictions. You all know that we love predictions here in the paddock. And I, as always, pulled out my pendulum for my predictions. P1, I have Oscar Piastri. P2, Max Verstappen. And P3 is Kimi Antonelli. Now, I have a request. If you have made it this far into our episode, go to our Instagram or our threads and let me know if I should try using my tarot cards for my next prediction instead of my pendulum. I want to see what you all think.
I vote yes on the tarot cards, bestie. Just a little something extra, a little spicy. But as for me, my predictions, as always, are just purely vibes. So P1, Oscar, P2, Lando, and Kimi in P3. I actually like seeing Oscar leading the drivers' championship right now. I think it's pretty cool. So I keep rooting for the lad because, again, Ferrari are a hot ass mess right now. That is all.
Keeping it simple, Lando P1, Max P2, Oscar P3. Imola has been a strong track for Lando in the past, so backing him for this one, especially since he seems to like finally be somewhat confident in the car, and with the European triple header coming up, who knows what'll happen. I think he's got this though. Rooting for my guy. And to close out the episode, we have a moment of the weekend for you, which obviously has to be the Lego cars for the drivers parade. I mean, come on, like, how cool was that? Seeing motorized, drivable, life-sized, real scale, like, F1 cars, like, amazing. And like we said, just seeing the drivers so happy, honestly, I think that was my moment of the weekend. Not even the cars, it was just seeing all 20 of them so happy and laughing and having a good time together.
Now, that's a wrap on our Miami Grand Prix coverage from the palm trees to the pit lane drama. We hope you enjoyed the ride as much as we did. Don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast platform and on social media. Everywhere you can find us at Paddock Girls Podcast for all the behind-the-scenes content and updates. Next up, we are shifting gears and we are heading back for book club. It's our second ever PGP book club episode, and we will be diving in to Not So Fast by Karen Booth. Think fast cars, a not so slow burn, and everything in between. So get ready to grab a copy, buckle up, and join us as we break it all down. Until then, we will see you in the paddock. Okay, bye.
Bye.